one of the smallest countries in Europe, a place most people have probably heard of but very few have actually visited, Liechtenstein. Between Switzerland and Austria, home to fewer than 40,000 people. It's also surrounded by some of the most incredible driving roads you'll ever see. And the funny thing is, this trip wasn't even planned months in advance. There wasn't anything special, no car meets, no rallies. I simply woke up one morning, looked at a map, and thought, why not? People always ask me, what's it like owning a BMW M3 in Germany? Honestly, it's everything I imagined growing up. Germany isn't just where some of the world's greatest cars are built. It's where driving is still treated like something you're supposed to enjoy. And when you have a car like this, it almost feels wrong not to use it. This is my 2024 BMW M3 Competition xDrive. And for me, it's the perfect balance. Comfortable enough to drive across Europe, powerful enough to make every road exciting, and practical enough that I can throw a bag in the trunk, point it towards another country, and just go. That's exactly what today was about. No complicated itinerary, no reservations, just a backpack, a full tank of gas, and one destination, Liechtenstein. One thing I've learned since moving to Germany is that Europe is built differently. Back home, driving 4 or 5 hours can still leave you in the same state. Here, you can wake up, drive through multiple countries, and still be back before bedtime. That freedom never gets old. There's something about the first few minutes of a road trip, the excitement, the unknown. You know where you're going, but you have absolutely no idea what you'll experience along the way. And honestly, that's my favorite part. Whenever people think about Germany, they immediately picture the Autobahn. Unlimited speed, fast cars, manufacturers like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Porsche. But honestly, the Autobahn is only part of the experience. Some of the best roads in Germany aren't the fastest ones. They're the roads that take you somewhere. The winding back roads, the mountain passes, the little villages you wouldn't have found otherwise. Those are the roads you'll actually remember. But I gotta admit, it's hard not to smile driving an M3 on German roads. This car almost feels like it was built for this. The steering, the power, the way it effortlessly eats up miles, everything about it encourages you to keep driving. Not because you're trying to get somewhere faster, because you simply don't want the drive to end. I think that's something people outside the car community don't always understand. Like for us, driving isn't just transportation. Sometimes the drive itself is the destination. The first stop, Stuttgart. Now, if you're even remotely interested in cars, you've probably heard the name before, because this city isn't just another stop on the map. It's one of those places where automotive history was written. Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, some of the greatest engineers, designers, and racing legends all have roots here. For car enthusiasts, Stuttgart is almost like a pilgrimage. I know what some of you are probably thinking. Sully, you drive a BMW, so why are you stopping at Porsche? Honestly, being a car enthusiast isn't about choosing sides. It's about appreciating great engineering. You don't have to own a Porsche to respect what Porsche has accomplished. I love Porsche. One thing that really stood out to me was seeing how much Porsche has evolved over the years. You can literally walk through decades of innovation, from lightweight sport cars to race-winning machines to modern cars we all know today. It's easy to forget every legendary car starts as someone's idea. Someone willing to take a risk, someone trying something different. What really impressed me was the attention to detail, every curve, every badge, every interior, every tiny design decision. Nothing felt accidental, everything had a purpose, and honestly, that's something I think every manufacturer can learn from. People often compare brands, BMW versus Porsche, Mercedes versus Audi, who's faster, who's better, who's more reliable, but standing here, none of that actually matters, because without competition, none of those brands would have become what they are today. They've all pushed each other for decades, and because of that, we're the one who benefit. Eventually, it was time to head back outside. Before leaving Stuttgart, we spent a little time walking around the city. No rushing, no strict schedule, just taking everything in. Sometimes the best part about road trips is that you end up discovering places you never planned on spending time in. At night, Stuttgart has a completely different feeling. The city slows down, the crowds get smaller, everything becomes quieter. After spending the afternoon surrounded by legendary cars, it gave me a chance to reflect. And it's funny, when you're younger you dream about owning cars. As you get older you realize that experiences they give you are worth even more. Eventually it was time to keep moving. Liechtenstein was still a few hours away and the M3 was waiting. And honestly, I couldn't wait to get back behind the wheel. Like every good road trip, there comes a point where the car reminds you it's time for another fuel stop. I don't know what it is, but there's something oddly satisfying about filling up, cleaning the windshield, stretching your legs before heading back on the road. It's almost like hitting a reset button. With a full tank, a fresh coffee, and another few hundred kilometers ahead, we pointed the M3 south toward one of Europe's smallest countries. As we left Stuttgart behind, everything started getting quieter. The city lights slowly disappeared, traffic became lighter, and it was just us, the M3, and the open roads. By the time we reached the hotel, it had been a long day, hundreds of kilometers, one incredible stop in Stuttgart, and now, finally, Liechtenstein. Sometimes the best feeling after a long drive is simply turning the car off, sitting there for a second, and realizing that you actually made it. The next morning, everything felt different. No alarms, no deadlines, no rush. Just fresh mountain air and my M3 sitting outside the hotel. I don't think I'll ever get tired of waking up somewhere new, especially when your car is waiting outside. I don't think people realize how good modern performance cars have become. Yesterday, this M3 comfortably cruised across Germany. Today, it's about to tackle mountain roads. One car doing everything. That's what makes road trips like this possible. Now, I know this is a car channel, but before another full day of driving, breakfast was definitely necessary. Nothing fancy, just something quick to get the day started. Sometimes the simplest mornings end up becoming the most memorable. With breakfast finished, the M3 warmed up. There was only one place left to visit. Vaduz Castle, one of the most iconic landmarks in Liechtenstein, and honestly, one of the biggest reasons people come here in the first place. The drive there was exactly what I'd hoped for. Smooth roads, beautiful scenery, hardly any traffic. This is where the M3 really came to life. Not because I was driving fast, because every corner, every straight, every mountain backdrop reminded me why I bought this car in the first place. I've always believed and I always tell people, cars aren't meant to spend their life sitting in a garage. They're meant to create stories, to take you places, to show you things you would have never experienced otherwise. And today, this BMW was doing exactly that. Then, for the first time, we saw it. Vaduz Castle, sitting high above the city, watching over one of Europe's smallest countries, and somehow, after hundreds of kilometers, the drive already felt worth it. Eventually, we found a place to park. Of course, we had to stop for a few photos, not because Instagram needed them, but because years from now, I know I'll be looking back at these pictures and remembering exactly how I felt that day. Sometimes photos aren't for social media. Soon after that, it was time to head back. As much as I could have stayed there all afternoon, the road was calling me again. And honestly, I don't think I've ever felt happier to see my car waiting for me. There's something satisfying about walking back to your car with a nice view. Leaving Vaduz Castle, I kept thinking about something. People spend so much time asking about what car should I buy, what modification should I do, how much horsepower is enough. But maybe we're asking the wrong questions. Maybe the better question is, where is your car going to take you next? Because that's what you'll remember. Not the numbers, the places, the roads, the people, the memories. This entire trip started with one simple decision. Pack a bag, start the M3, and go. No expectations, no schedules, just curiosity, and looking back now, I'm really glad I did it. The BMW M3 Competition has been incredible throughout this journey. Comfortable on the Autobahn, confident through mountain roads, relaxed cruising through small villages. It's one of those rare cars that makes every kilometer enjoyable. Not because it's the fastest, but because it encourages you to keep exploring. When I bought this M3, I didn't buy it just to park it in a garage. I bought it to drive, to explore, to wake up one morning, choose a destination, and simply go. That's exactly what this trip became. From Kaiserslautern to Stuttgart to the Porsche Museum, through some of Germany's most beautiful roads, and finally, one of Europe's smallest countries. This trip reminds me of something I'll probably never forget. The best roads aren't always the famous ones. The best destinations aren't always the biggest ones. Sometimes, the greatest adventures become with one simple thought. Why not? If you've watched this far, I hope this video inspires you to take your own road trip. It doesn't have to be across Europe. It doesn't have to be in an M3. It just has to be somewhere you've always wanted to go.